Today is one of my very first times making a Carson type beat. I'm gonna show you how to do it and I'm gonna give you some tips if you wanna learn how to make beats like that. Hopefully you're gonna like it. Let's not wait any longer, let's get started. Let's talk about the keys. So when it comes to Carson beats, he uses major and minor keys. Major keys are a bit strange in this case because normally a major key sounds pretty happy, but in the case of Carson beats, it sounds really dark. So maybe it's gonna be a bit more complex to make it work. So let's go with the minor key. I wanna make something really dark here, and there's a scale that's perfect for that. We're gonna quickly talk about the Phrygian scale. Don't worry, it's easier than it seems. So to show you that, I have a piano here. You can make it using all the white keys starting from the E note. So I have C, D and E. So this is my root note here. So we have E, then we have F, we have G, A, B, C and D. And then it's back to my root note, my E. This is how it sounds like. Okay, and you might think it's the same as a C major scale or an A minor scale, but not at all. Let me prove you that. So if I select all my notes and I drag them down here to a C, okay? As you can see, now I start to have flats or sharps. I don't have C, D, E, F, G, and B, okay? So this would be a C Phrygian scale, which is not the same at all as a C major scale. And if you don't understand how that's possible, it's just because here, between E and F, we only have one semitone. See, there's no black keys in between here. And also between B and C, we have one semitone. Whereas here, between C and D, I have one tone. My semitone is here. That would be a C sharp or a D flat. Phrygian scale sounds dark. And again, let me prove you that. I'm gonna make a very simple melody here. I'm just playing around until I find something I like. Okay, yes. It starts sounding dark. I think that's a dark melody. Let's check it out. No. Of course, if you change the sound, it's gonna sound darker as well. Woo! And this could be a trap beat, let's be honest. So this is based on this E Phrygian scale. I'm not gonna use that for my Carson beats because it's not really in the style, even though it sounds dark. So it was just to give you this scale that you can use to make your melodies. Anyway, let's start making a Carson beat. When it comes to making type beats, the sound selection is very important. So here I'm using Serum 2, which I think is really good for this kind of rage beats. And this is the preset I'm gonna use. Sounds really good. And if I have enough views on this video or if people are asking for it in the comments, I might do a one-shot samples kit that you can import it in a sampler. Like that, for example, it's very easy. So then you can play it even if you don't have Serum 2. But yeah, let's see if you need that or not. Let me know. You can of course use another synth than Serum, but try to find something that sounds a bit like that. I'm just gonna play around and try to find a riff. Alright, I've got my starting point. Let's record it. I'm just gonna select the notes and quantize it. So Command A and I just hit Q. As you can see, it's now fully on time. Let's make it a bit longer. And those two as well. what I want to do is to make a bounce in place, and this way I'm gonna be able to do some chops. So it's gonna convert the MIDI file to an audio. Control B is the shortcut. Let's do some chops. Just hitting Command and double clicking here. Alright, just gonna keep the first part here. I can copy and paste it. There we go. By the way, Command R is a really good shortcut. Let's do a chop. Let's try a couple of things. This is another cool shortcut in Logic Pro. Just hit Command, Option, and then it's gonna slice it like that. Boom. Let's make those ones shorter. Alright, I'm just gonna play around a bit and find something I like. I'll show you the result in a second. Alright, that's a good start. Let's move on. Let's add a new track. Let's change the sound. Woo! Let's record it. Let's quantize everything. You know the drill. Command A and Q. Let's tighten it. Let's make it longer. Copy and paste. Boom. Let's try to pitch it up. Let's do a variation here at the end. Woo! I like it. Sounding crazy. Alright, simple melody, but it works. If it works, then whatever. Let's turn it down. Let's add another lead, and here I've got a sort of siren going on. Yeah, we can quantize it. As you guessed it. What I've noticed for those Ken Carson type beats is that usually you have some hard plucks. So I've got this. By the way, I'm still using Serum 2. Okay, but let's add Decapitator on top of it, which is a distortion. Just use any distortion here. Woo! It just hits harder like that. Let me just turn the delay off. So when you got a good preset, don't hesitate to change it a bit. Let's record it. Don't know what I did at the end, but that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Tell you what, I'm gonna keep that for a second part, so there's gonna be like a switch up at some point, and let's find something for the main part. So before the switch up, still gonna use those plucks. Okay, once again we have Serum, and let's add another layer. Very basic, just 2 notes. Let's add a tremolo on top of it. So you have one included in Logic Pro, or here I'm using Tremolator from Soundtoys. Okay, something like that. Now it's time to add a bass on top of that, so we have a deeper sound. And the first one I'm gonna use is this one. Yeah, let's go. I found a pretty sick bass line, check it out. I'm gonna record it. I changed a bit the plucks and I have this instead. Let's listen to the whole thing. That's a solid starting point, but I think we need an 808 on top of it. So I found this one which hits really hard. Sheesh! Let's record it. The length of the notes are important, so here I'm gonna shorten it. And I want to do some slides here at the end. So here on the left side, I'm gonna change it from velocity to pitch bend, and I can make a slide like that. It sounds really bad, but let me change it. So I'm gonna open up the sampler, and here you wanna change the pitch range. So from 2 to 12 semitone. So basically that's an octave, so you have a proper pitch bend. Sounds better. Just gonna turn down the velocity to make them quieter. We have all the synth and even the 808. It's time to move on to the drums. Let's start with a simple clap. Time for the hats. I'm just gonna place them like that, and I'm gonna select all those ones and turn the velocity up. Alright. Copy and paste. But that would be way too much, so I'm just gonna mute some of them. The shortcut is T and M, this way you can switch up the tool. I'm gonna mute some of them, and there's no rule really here. You just wanna find something that you like, something that sounds good. Okay, we have more bounce. Let me try a couple of things. You can also do some rolls. Time for the open hat, and I'm gonna have a second one which sounds like that. We can also add a snare, and I'm gonna do a sort of fill, so it's like a snare roll if you want to. See, that kind of things. By the way, this is how you can fold your view, or unfold it if you wanted to. And now I can pitch them down. Let's add a kick. And a few of them here. Boom, boom, boom. I'm just thinking we need more distortion on the 808. So decapitator once again. I'm even gonna activate the punish option here. Distortion is so important for those kind of beats. You really need a lot of overdrive, a lot of distortion. Here I created a bus for my drums, so all my drums are grouped together. This is the before and after. Let's saturate the claps too. It just sounds fatter like that. Same thing as for the drums, I'm gonna create a bus for the synth, and you guessed it, I'm gonna add distortion on top of it. Here I'm using another plugin, it's called Devil Lock, and it's also by Santos. Again, you can use any distortion. I'm also gonna add another distortion, and this one is from the Serum FX. Gonna use this one, which is pretty hard, but I'm gonna turn down the mix. Let's try to add it on the drums too. I'm happy with this first part, but remember, we have a switch up to do. Let's do it. So I have those effects here, just to make the transition between the two parts. Here I want to do a bounce in place of that. And let's add again tremolator. Yeah, sounds good. So I want to do a repetition, and for the second time I want it to hit harder. So let's try a bit of OTT compression. For those beats you can also have some chants, which is this. And now let's copy and paste it. So it's gonna kinda replace the hats. And I want another one for the offbeats. Gonna choose this one. I'm gonna do another bounce in place here, and this time I want to add some chops. If you remember the shortcut, it's the cap key, the option, and the command key at the same time. I'm just playing around, really. Ooh, why not? And for the transition, I'm gonna use RC20 here. I'm gonna make an automation with the magnitude here, which is the mix. To do that, let's switch it up from read to latch. And now you can change it, and it's gonna do the automation for you. Don't forget to switch it back to read. And there you go, you have your automation. So it's like a filter automation here. Let's change the claps for this part. I want the claps on every beat. I'm gonna play here with the subdivisions. So it's a bit more advanced technique if you want to, but I'm sure you can understand and do it. So I place it here with a triplet fill. Can even try some rolls. Let's have some hats. Here I'm gonna mark the offbeat. Rolls. Open hats. And it's time to add a riser. You can reverse it to have a riser. I'm gonna finish this beat, I'm gonna mix it and just do a few tweaks here and there. Of course, I'm gonna show you the result at the end of this video. But otherwise, yeah, that's it. That's the end of this tutorial and of this Ken Carson type beat. I hope that you liked it. Let me know what you think of the beat in the comments. Just to summarize quickly this video, some important part was to use the Phrygian scale. It really gave us this dark vibe. Then I used a lot of serum too, because I think it has some good presets for this kind of beats. We also looked at using distortion, especially for the synth, even for the drums, so you get this really distorted vibe. And yeah, it worked well in this case. If you liked this video, you can support me and you can subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. Please do it, I would highly appreciate it. Anyway, stay tuned, take care, bye bye.